I've got one of the goons. Oh, a terrible thing to call him, but that's Simon.
That's me.
Simon's right here with
Yes.
me, and tell us a little bit about how you became involved in this, Simon.
Yep. I'm a friend of Brian Cutts, who is our director and producer of the show, and he'd been lobbying for me to audition for the part for a while, and I'd been sort of hesitant, mainly because of other commitments, and then I auditioned, and he said, "You're going to be Harry Seacombe," which is great. I love being Harry Seacombe. I tend to do Neddy Seagoon.
Well, it had nothing to do with your circumference or anything like that.
No, it's got nothing to do with my weight, but it certainly helps.
Okay.
And I enjoy doing it and working with these four fine fellas, as well as David Watkins. Or is that four?
That was nearly a good sleep, that one.
Yeah.
3 plus 4.
3 plus 1, yes. Has been a great treat. And I've made some good friends here.
Well, that's good. I mean, the main thing is that the original Goons, and as we know, they were a great talent.
Yes.
But they also had a great deal of fun. They really enjoyed each other's company.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you've got to do the same, or otherwise it wouldn't work.
Oh, yeah, well, we all have fun on stage. We tease each other mercilessly. We also support each other should things happen. We do run this as a live show, and because it's live, mistakes do sometimes happen. So we can cover as well as rib each other, and the audience loves that aspect of it. I enjoyed some of those moments as well.
You can't convince me the Goons never made a slip.
What it's all
No,
about.
yes, exactly. and that's also part of the fun, is that all four of us here, all three of us maybe, no? 5. I'll get...
look,
look,
have another count.
I'm an accountant,
All
so...
27 of us.
Yes, I'm an accountant, so I could make up any number I like, and I'd still be right. Isn't that right? According to the accounting standard ASSB5, something like that.
Oh, they don't write numbers like that anymore.
No, they don't. It's just a lot of fun, and we're also clever type people, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Okay,
Yes.
Simon, well, we might find out just how clever some of your mates are.
Okay.
Some of these 17 that you've got here in the studio with you.
Ah, thank you. Let's talk to 5 of them right now.
At once.
Here they come. Okay, here we are. Come on. All right, lads. Hello.
Hello.
Hello,
And,
hello.
who we got here?
I'm Rob, and I play Spike Milligan.
You play Spike Milligan.
I do.
You actually look a bit like Spike.
Well, that's what everybody says.
Just
No,
a little?
That's what everybody
Very hard, but
says.
with a bit of tuning, he manages to
Yes.
get a good rhythm out of it.
Oh, give me that rhythm method.
Okay. Well, why'd you pick on Spike Milligan? What was...
He picked on me, actually.
Oh, did
I
he?
didn't actually pick on him.
All right, okay.
Did a show for Brian a couple of years ago, and he said then that he's thinking of doing the Goon Show, and I said, I want to be in that, because I've always been a mad fan of the Goons and Spike
isn't he?
Milligan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, well, Peter Sellers as well, of course.
Yeah.
So there was auditions, and went in and got it.
Well, Spike Milligan...
And here I am.
Spike Milligan came from my hometown, Woy.
Moi Moi,
Yeah, that's
yes.
right.
Well,
And his mother and my mother were good friends. They used to
Were
go to
they
legacy
indeed?
together. Wonderful. Yeah, wonderful friends.
ah.
I suppose you've spent many hours in front of a mirror trying to perfect that look.
According to my granddaughter, I spend many hours in front of the mirror, yes.
Okay.
No, we've got the papers to prove that.
What? You filthy
Wait a
swine.
minute, do you want a tissue for that?
Later.
You do, and you clean it up yourself.
Well,
Can we carry on with this
I
interview?
really
Let's
think,
get some
all
decorum back in
all
here.
these characters you've got in the background here, I mean...
No, we're going back to... Who did that? Who rang that bell?
Oh, that's my meal ready.
Let go. Round 2 for Simon's meal. We all are mad Goon fans, as you've probably gathered already. I have been since I was about 8. I used to listen to them and thought they were just wonderful. And I always used to do silly voices. And now I'm getting paid for doing silly voices, which is even
Amazing,
better.
yeah, amazing.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, my older...
paid?
Oh, sorry, that slipped out. Damn. No.
there's money?
No money. No money. It's all
well-
rumours.
The others all tell me you're not getting paid. You must be getting all the pay.
But then they get them paid in new stamps.
What? You didn't say naughty man.
Getting.
Okay, Henry, come back. Give me some chocolates, Henry.
What? Me no got no chocolate.
What?
Me no
You
got
promised me some chocolates if I did a show, Henry.
No chocolates. Chocolates are.
Well, I'm going then.
Now, Dave Watkins is the voice, the man who links the various skits together with some fabulous singing. Good day, Dave. How are you today?
Great. It's great to be here.
I'm pleased to be able to chat with you. Dave, I believe you do a lot of charity work as well as being involved with these goons. You do charity work where you're with real people for a change.
Yeah, with real people. Yeah. I do a lot of work with the Cancer Council in Sydney as part of the Sutherland Relay for Life. which is pretty
Excellent,
incredible.
yeah.
And I also specialise in dementia care. So I do a lot of work supplying entertainers, specially trained to work in retirement villages and nursing homes.
That's a very big issue,
Very
isn't it?
rewarding.
Yeah. Certainly retirement homes, some of these patients, the only time they ever show a great deal of emotion or anything else is when they can sing along with an old song that they know.
do. And
they love it.
We have lots of fun. We really do.
That's fantastic. Now, you mentioned Relay for Life. What area was the Relay for Life?
Relay for Life is based in Sutherland, which is the area which I've been a part of for about 5 years now. We run the Banquet for Life, which is on in the evening at Sutherland. And basically I put a show on for an hour and a half for all those people who've spent the whole day walking around in circles.
Excellent.
So they get to sit down, have a little dance and watch the show.
Well, how do you get on with these goons? How do they treat you?
The goons are a bit crazy, and none of them have got a real Welsh accent.
You have a...
What are you talking about?
Terrible, boy. You're terrible, man.
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
Call yourselves Welsh?
It's interesting enough because you do have a trace of a Welsh accent.
Oh, it's 2 minutes, 2 pints, and 2 minutes with my mum on the phone, and comes back like I've never even been away.
Yeah, well, that's usually the way, isn't it? When you catch up with the old folk, you become one of the old folk.
Yeah, when I actually came from a town called Pontypridd, then which was where Harry Seacombe used to play quite a lot in the old days,
okay.
and my dad has got some interesting memories of Harry Seacombe when he worked with him on the stage at the old town hall, as they used to do in the old days.
Would have been wonderful. Absolutely
wonderful.
Yeah. So Evie's going to now entertain us as we have a little bit of an interlude in the program, because that's exactly what happened in the original Goon shows. These interludes were where the singer would come along and he would do a song, and this is Mac the Knife. Take it, Dave.
Oh, the shark has pretty teeth, dear, and he shows them pearl white. Just a jackknife has his old Mac Heath, babe, and he keeps it out of sight. You know when that shark bites with his teeth, babe, scarlet billows, they start to spread. Fancy gloves though, where's old Mac Heath, babe? So there's never a trace of red on a sidewalk. Ooh, Sunday morning lies a body just oozing life. Someone sneaking around the corner. Could that someone be Mac the Knife? There's a tugboat down by the river, don't you know, where cement bags just drooping on down. The cement bags just there for the weight, dear. Bob will get your tan on Mackey's back in town. Did you hear about Louis Miller? He disappeared one day after drawing out, whoa, his heart in cash. Now McHeath spends just like a sailor. Could it be our boys done something rash? I said Jenny Dava and Suki Tawdry, look out for Lotto Lanyard and old Lucy Brown. Yes, the line forms on the right, babe, now that Mackey's back in town. I said Jenny Dava and Suki Tawdry, look out for Lotto Lanyard and old Lucy Brown. Yes, the line forms on the right, babe, now that Mackey's back in town. Look out, old Mackey is back.
I think we might move on to that man.
That's a good idea.
That man is over there in the back, sounding remarkably like Peter Sellers.
We have someone who sounds like him?
This is dangerous now.
Yes. So yes, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are we talking to here?
Well,
What's your name? Come on, tell us.
it's been a long time since you and I have been in a studio, Warren.
It is.
My name is John Stretton, and I play the role of Peter Sellers in The Goon Show Live. And as you well know, Warren, part of my history of voiceover work has started a long time ago with Cessnock Community Radio.
Exactly. Did.
Right back in those early days from the very first committee meeting of interest, which was, very early days indeed. But look, I just developed a love of recording voices, making silly voices and doing that sort of thing from a very early age. From about the age of 10, my dad bought me a shoebox tape recorder. I always used to make cassette tapes and, funny little radio plays and things for mum and dad to listen to. But as time went on, I sort of kept that interest there, and of course had involvement with community radio. And then in later life, a friend of mine suggested that I'd put some demos around for voiceover work, and I did.
Right.
And that was about 15 years ago, and I've been doing it as a full-time profession ever since. So,
Anyway, how'd you get involved with these other goons, other fellows?
well, like these guys, we had to go through an audition process, but I think what I lacked for in acting ability, I made up for in voice talent with some of the mimicry for Sellers' characters. And
Right.
Peter Sellers was always my favourite character in the Goon Show because he did all the
did
fun
everything.
stuff. He
Yeah.
does Blue Bottle and Dennis Bloodknock, which I love. He's probably my favourite character, and then closely followed by Gridpipe Thin, who's always scheming with Moriarty. Aren't we, Moriarty?
Yes.
We're always scheming, yes.
Grippipe, I've got a new plan for you.
You've got a new plan?
Yes, I'll tell you later.
Well, make sure you keep it nice and crisp and ironed, will you? Good.
And when you consider that Spike Milligan was the guy that wrote most of this stuff, why did he do such great writing for Peter Sellers?
I think it came down to the fact that a lot of interviews that I heard about Peter Sellers over the years was that he was great at doing character voices, but he would often have to be steered in the right direction or given inspiration of a particular character voice, and then he would just run with that.
Yeah.
Once Milligan discovered that he was happy to do and could do all this, such a diverse range of character voices, he just wrote more and more of that into the show. But then as time went on, other characters developed as well. As you know, Wallace Greenslade, and you'll talk to David in a moment about his role in the show. But there were many incidental characters throughout the various scripts that he called on Greenslade to add to, or in fact even Harry Seacombe's character for various things.
Yeah.
So there's all that classic interaction between Minnie and Henry and Gridpipe and Moriarty and Blue Bottle and Eccles, and we bring all that fun into the shows too.
And there were a couple of voices we never ever got to know who they were.
Yeah, well, Little Jim's famous line, of course, usually splash followed by
He's falling in the water.
which of course was Milligan's catchphrase.
Yes.
Which Rob does in the shows.
No,
Yeah.
it's a drop phrase.
It was the drop phrase. It was the splash phrase.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Well, my brother actually introduced me to the Goon Show, and he's 10 years older than me, so it'll give you some indication. But I certainly came to love the characters as they developed, and of course each of them as they went on to do their own thing. If you like, when they were post-Goon, they were still incredible talents. They did such wonderful work.
Yeah, well, a lot of the humour in the Goon shows carried through to the likes of what Sellers did in his movie roles.
Of course.
And probably Milligan was probably the most famous of the bunch that continued on with that sort of comedy afterwards. And he brought it all to the Q series, which was a great inspiration for what is now known and loved around the world as Monty Python.
Monty Python, yeah.
And the boys to this day will openly admit that their inspiration came quite heavily from Spike and the Goons.
And Harry Seacombe used to do a lot of TV programs in later years.
Yes.
Skits and what have you. Played some incredible characters on television as well as the radio voices. So,
Exactly, yeah.
these were great talents.
And so we're doing the best we can to relive these moments and bring them back live to the stage. And we've had some very favourable reviews as we've gone around, and very nice compliments of people saying it's just so nice to shut your eyes, and be taken back
Yeah.
to
They
that
don't want to look at
moment.
us, do they?
No, they don't want to see us. We've got great faces for radio.
Well, that's a good idea,
But,
isn't it? I mean, that's what's kept a lot of us in radio, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's where our faces belong.
Yeah, but we're developing the characters as we go along. We are basing them quite heavily on the original characters, but Simon brings a great presence to the stage, for example, as Harry Seacombe's
That's
role.
it's a rude thing to say
Yeah.
to you, isn't it? Just because Harry Seacombe.
Well, I could have said
Great
he brings.
presence.
I could have said he brings a large presence to the stage.
I think the word you're looking for is gravitas. Gravitas.
Gravitas. Gravitas,
yes.
right, yeah.
It's not
Exactly.
not just the arse, it's the front as well.
Yes, it's the front as well.
So also Spike's character is relived beautifully through what Rob does. We often crack each other up on stage when we have our Minnie and Henry moments or our Blue Bottle and Eccles moments, and you just know when you're going to have a great night when the crowd is reciting lines before
they
you've
know
even
it.
got to say them. Yeah,
They know it. They know
So,
it's on.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So we've got another Dave here.
We do.
We have another Dave. Well, we'll talk to another Dave.
Another Dave.
Another Dave, another
Ed.
dollar.
Ed.
Yes. Okay. So Dave, what's your background, my friend? How did you get involved with all this?
Well, I must have been about the same age as Rob was. I remember under my bedclothes listening illicitly to the Goon Show when I was about 8, I suppose. And the next thing was I went to a grammar school in Guildford, in the one in England rather than one over here. And the head of our house was somebody called Terry Jones.
Oh, right.
And that sort of humour was already permeating through our school, so I sort of got it from the Goons, then from school, and I came into this through the audition process. Basically, I hadn't met Brian before. I desperately wanted to be in it, but I desperately wanted to be Peter Sellers, or I desperately then wanted to be Spike Milligan. But the third time along, he said, perhaps you could be Harry Seacombe, and then the fourth time he said, well, no, you're going to be Wallace Greenslade. So that was it, basically.
Right. Okay, so who was Wallace Greenslade?
Well, Wallace Greenslade was the original announcer, basically, who wasn't quite a linchpin, but he was the sort of butt of lots of people's jokes, basically. And in our production, I've taken over that, plus I'm sort of Grams, in that I get the sound effects in the right spots. And also, because we don't have Max Gilderay and Ray Ellington, who also occasionally had tiny parts where they used to come on and do things, we sort of split half of those between myself and Rob. So the Wallace Greenslade in this is a far bigger part of the whole process than the original Wallace.
But, it must have been a fair achievement for you to take on this role after wanting these minor roles of Seacombe.
Oh, yeah,
and,
yes.
So
Well, he was a
really
miner,
big.
wasn't he? He brought back the piece
That's
of
right.
coal. Yeah. There's something about Greenslade in that he's sort of naive, but upper class. Sorry,
Yes.
that's what I'm. And as I said, I desperately wanted to be in it. I would have been happy to have gone along and done follow spotting or anything to be part of this production, because it's absolutely fantastic. Every rehearsal is probably twice as long as it need be because we can't stop laughing. And every performance, it's like an injection of laughter-filled adrenaline into the body by the end of it. It doesn't matter what you feel like when you start, by the end of it, it's all, way! For want of a better way of putting it. It has that effect, yes.
We've seen the white.
From the very first time we rehearsed together, we knew something good was going to happen.
Yeah,
We just sat around from the very first rehearsal ever, and we just looked at each other, and we just laughed the whole way through it. And I think we all knew at that point, this is going to work.
Yeah.
Well, we were all the sort of epitome of what we expected, if you know what I mean. That what we were getting was what you
wanted
the
to
best
find.
that we possibly could have found. Suddenly appeared all at once, and it was magic, like that first rehearsal. Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
I'm going to ask for more money.
I really love Colburn. I love the relaxed feel of the wine country. It's fantastic. So yeah, it's great to have a chance to come out and show our
Where's?
Talent.
where's what? Yeah,
Everywhere.
everywhere. Right?
Everywhere,
Yes.
Everywhere.
Tell me a little bit about your crowd behaviour and just what is the reaction?
Well, the reaction is fantastic, both for the people who know and love the Goons, and also for some of the people who come along who have never heard the Goons before. We receive some great feedback. People who have known and loved the Goons say it takes me right back, and we always get stories of how they used to listen to the Goon Show on the ABC very frequently. And the new people, I never heard them before, but now I must go out and listen to all their records and the like. Part of the charm of the show that we do is that after we finish the night, we come out and we talk to the audience members and get to have a feel of what works for them and what doesn't. And there's always been praise and adoration and money showered at our feet. Oh, I
it's
think I've
incredible,
lied
isn't
about
it?
one
Yeah.
of them,
I
yes.
tell you what is absolutely bizarre, and we've all had this happen to us a few times now. There's actually a bit of a following coming to these shows, And it's a very surreal moment when somebody comes up to you and says, "Can we have your autograph?" And
Yes.
we've all done it, and it's just so weird because
But they're very disappointed when you sign your real name.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Warren. But we're playing characters as part of a show, but they like the show so much. This guy, remember the show we did at the Clarendon this year? This guy bought an original booklet of reproduced Spike Milligan scripts and got us all to sign it.
Yes.
And then got pictures taken as well. You know, this is the sort of reaction that we're starting to have to some of the shows. People are enjoying it that much. And we've had people travel from New Zealand specifically to see the show. We had a couple come from Nottingham, England to see the show. And, you know, people are travelling interstate because they've got friends and relatives. You've got to see this, so they come.
I've had one story come to me about a woman who had lost her husband about a year before. This was the Warrawee shows. And she loved the show so much. She laughed and laughed and laughed. And at the end of it, she turned to one of her best friends who was very worried about her state of mind and said, "I think I've finished grieving for my husband now. I'm ready to come back into the real world." And that was something that we've done for someone who, you know, experienced a big loss. So
I think she just enjoyed a really good laugh. And I think, you know, the state of things today, people have got so much anxiety about what's going on in the world and have such busy lives that people who are already fans of the Goon Show or even new fans of the show are just taking time out to go, you know what, I'm going to go see this because it is just absolute silliness and that's what I want to hear right now. And people are enjoying the absolute scripted stupidity of it. It's great.
And that's what we deliver.
Scripted stupidity.
Yeah, more or less.
At least that's what our producer tells us.
I thought someone left the word script out.
That's right. Extraordinary stupidity.
Yeah, ordinary stupidity, yes. But and we also bring a little bit more theatricality than just the script itself. You know, we're starting to play up on stage a fair bit. When David sings, we're either riding chairs or falling off seats and...
Yeah, we give him a stir, and this is all part of the live performance factor of it. See, the original show was originally recorded in front of a live audience.
Yeah, I realise.
But we all grew up, just listening to it, and it was the theatre of the mind, and it was all pulled together by the fantastic sound effects that Milligan wrote into the scripts and the absolute ridiculousness of it. You know, he had people standing on each other's shoulders, yet there was only two of them to reach a cell window to escape a dungeon or, all these impossible things. And he'd often follow them up with lines in his scripts like, "Let's see them try that on television," you know, which was great. But look, the shows are...
Who does the sound effects, by the way?
The sound effects are recreated, so some of the Foley's been recreated live to get as close to the originals as we can. Feedback from fans has been very good on those. You know, they're so close to the originals.
I'm pleased that you are doing it live as well. It certainly adds to the whole effect of the show.
We've had some great responses from audiences. There was one show where we actually had a couple who proposed. The groom to be proposed.
Oh, yes, but I turned him down.
So there was a live proposal at one of our shows last year. So somewhere out there's a couple who in their wedding photographs have got us pretending to propose to his bride-to-be.
Yes.
So that's out there somewhere.
I don't think they're still married.
Well, we still see her regularly. No.
Well, I'm getting that piece.
You see her what?
Now, I'm not too sure how much of this I'm going to fit into 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hour program, but were you going to do a bit of a skit for us, part of one of your scripts, so we get to hear a little bit of...
We could do a bit from the Greenslade story and Napoleon's piano. Mr. Seagoon, would you like to lead us in, please?
Yes. How did Wallace Greenslade come by such rapturous applause? It is with heavy heart and light kidneys that we tell you.
The Greenslade story, or...
Winds light to variable. My name is Snag, John Snag. Thank you, Sir Ian. It was in June 1954 that the lad Wallace Greenslade first came to the BBC, seeking refuge from hard work.
Good morning, miss. I'm Mr. W. Greenslade.
Oh, yes, you've come for the vacant post of announcer.
Yes, I have.
Do take a seat with the other applicants.
Thank you. I sat down next to a man wearing a brass deerstalker, white cricket boots, and a shredded cardboard wig.
Hello?
Good morning.
Winds light the variable.
Pardon?
I said winds light the variable.
Oh, really?
Yep. I'm practicing, you know.
Don't tell me you're applying for the post of announcer?
Yeah, and I'll get it too, you'll see. I'm wearing a Cambridge tie.
You? You were at Cambridge?
Yeah,
What were you doing there?
buying a tie.
Mr. Liddell will see you now, Mr. Eccles.
Fine, thank you, my good woman. Oh, £2,000 a year on a pension. Oh, I'm rich.
Get out, you idiot! Get out!
What? Wait a minute. You haven't even heard me speak yet.
Well, we'll write to you.
Well, that's no good. I can't read.
Now I remember. You've trapped me into bringing back a piano from France for only £5.
You signed the contract, Neddy. Now get the piano, or we sue you for breach of contract.
Oh!
Gad Moriarty. If he brings back that piano, we shall be well in the money. That piano must be worth at least £10,000.
How do you know?
I've seen its bank book. That is the very piano Napoleon played at Waterloo.
No wonder we lost.
Yes, and with all that moolah, we can have a wonderful slap-up holiday.
No.
April in Paris, we found a Charlie.
I say, poor Neddy must have been at his wits' end. Faced with the dilemma of having to bring back Napoleon's piano from Paris, he went to the Foreign Office for advice on passports and visas.
Aye, that must be the Prime Minister at the door.
Yes, that must be the Prime Minister, yes.
Coming, Anthony, coming.
Yes, tell him we're very sorry, Min.
Oh, sorry for what, Henry?
Well, make something up. Anything will do.
We're very sorry, Anthony.
Oh.
You're not the Prime Minister?
Not yet, but it's just a matter of time. My name is Neddy Seagoon.
Oh, do you want to buy a white paper?
No thanks, I'm trying to give them up.
Oh, so are we.
The log of Napoleon's piano. December the 3rd. Second week in English Channel. Very seasick. No food. No water. Blood knock. Down with the lurgy. Eccles. Up with the lock.
Seagoon, take over the keyboard. I can't steer anymore.
Eccles. Take over the keyboard.
I can't. I haven't bought my music.
You'll just have to busk for the next 3 miles.
Wait! Great galloping crabs! Look in the sky! It's a recording of a helicopter! Saved! Oh!
By St. George, saved! Yes! For those of you who haven't got television, they're lowering a man on a rope.
Yes, it is Sea Ranger Blibber, direct from HMS Boxer. Signals applause. Please! I've drunk my fill of the clapping.
Little stinking admiral.
Yay!
You have arrived in the nick of time.
Silencio! I must do my duty. Hurriedly runs up cardboard Union Jack. I now claim this island for the British Empire and Lord Beaverbrook, the British patriot. Thinks. I wonder why he lives in France. 3 cheers for the Empire! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip!
Have you come to save us?
Hooray! Rockall is now British. Cements in brass plate steps back to salute. I'm drowning in the dreaded drowning tap water.
Here, grab this fork on the end of a pole.
But it's got a kipper on.
Yes, you must keep your strength up.
Oh, but I'm drowning.
Well, there's no need to go hungry as well. Take my hand.
Why, you're a stranger in paradise.
Well, I've had a great deal of fun talking to you fellows, and I'm very pleased that I managed to catch up with you while you're up here in the Hunter Valley. But tell us, you're doing a show in the Hunter Valley, so just whereabouts are you going to be performing and when?
We're really looking forward to bringing the show to the Hunter Valley. It's on tomorrow night at the Siebel Kirkton Park at Pecolbin. That's Saturday the 6th of September, tomorrow night. For booking information and tickets, you can go to the website, the official website, which is www.thegoonshowlive, that's all one word, thegoonshowlive.com.au, or you can phone the Siebel Kirkton Park Direct on 4993 1309.
But thanks, guys, for your time and your trouble. And as I said, it's fantastic to catch up with you. And it's very nice of you to put on a little free feed for us. But beyond that, it's really wonderful to catch up with you.
I think we've just found something that's going to make the cutting room floor.
Ryan, come back.
All is
Thank
forgiven.
you. Thank you, sir.
We
Thank
can't
you very
afford to
much.
pay for it.